Karl Boys then breaks off in this third match of the group. We're officially at the halfway stage at the end of this one.
Didn't hit this break as well in terms of he catches it half ball, cue ball below the middle pocket's a telltale sign, but he'll take this result every single time. This is a lovely layout for him. One he'll expect to make the clearance on. Well, let's try and work out the maths while Karl works out what he wants to do. Ronan McCarthy sits top of the table with 2 points, the only man with a win, and Gareth Potts and Shaun Storry each with a point each. Karl Boys, he sits on 0 with his loss in the opening match. So if Karl wins here, he'd go level with Ronan and ahead of Shaun. But Ronan would then be playing Gareth Potts next. If Shaun wins, he'd go to 3 points and he would leave Karl on 0, and because of some of the other fixtures left to play, I think that means Karl would be out. So it's a similar sort of scenario to what we had in the first group yesterday, because there was a draw early in the group. In fact, it was Karl that was involved in that draw. The fact that Karl tried to go into the red on the left-hand side early in this visit makes me wonder whether there is enough room to pot this yellow and get the cue ball out. It always looked like it was when he first came to the table. He could have done with maybe being on the bottom cushion here. He looks a little bit short. Might have to go cushion first. Never felt in doubt after that break and that layout. The Karl Boys off to the fast start. Masters continues on Wednesday. We've reached week 17, a very long competition this one. That's just going into the second half of the first round. Declan Brennan, he takes on Patrick McLaughlin, Keith Warren and Daniel Batking in the other side of the draws. Declan will certainly be the big favourite for that group, but being a big favourite for the group doesn't always guarantee a path through.
I mean, we know that just from watching the Wednesday just gone. Really can't stress enough that Gareth was really tested on Wednesday, and that on paper looked like a group that he would have sailed through. But just goes to show there's nothing given in this sport. At the top level, anything can happen. And Jordan Bradley pushed Gareth all the bit away. Was awesome. And forced Gareth to play his best stuff to beat him, which is about as much credit as you can give Jordan Bradley, really. And even in that group final, Gareth really had to pull one out. Played really well. So Shaun Storry has to go again. 1-0 down. Doesn't mind being behind. Well, I tell a lie. He probably minds being behind. But
doesn't show.
At least in the way he plays, it really doesn't show.
He's done it all year long. He really has. That's not gone overly well for him. Knocked an 8-ball awkward. Hasn't really opened up anything for him either. Messy table for him. What's it? Does he have an angle on the left-hand one of the two now to try and get in and amongst the triangle of reds at the bottom? Or even to try and develop the 8-ball?
Stop, stop.
Ooh, come back too far.
He's in great nick if he lands a ball roll less on the reds to the bottom corner, because that can open everything up. What's he playing here? Hello. Oh, not quite. Nearly a lovely little pick out. To the table comes box office. Yellows are really tricky from here. Has he got a route? Can he unlock the door?
Well, it's messy on reds. It's even worse on yellows. This one's going to take a little bit of working out. Yeah. Helps him. Talk about covering pockets, which is essentially what he's done here. Not been a great way of going in this rule set, but there's no easy way for Shaun to play the loss of turn shot on it. It's knocked the red into an awkward position at the bottom of the table. A well executed shot from Karl. And that has opened everything up for Karl Boys. That's not what Shaun Storry wanted. A little bit thin on his next ball, or has to go long, but layout's wide open for him now. This is comfortable for 2-0.
Oh, you say that?
Well, it should have been comfortable for 2-0. That's a disappointing miss from Karl Boys. It really is. He's known for his potting, and that's a disappointing one.
And after doing all the hard work in opening the frame up, this was a really difficult frame to win. Had to do so much good work to get to that stage. And now all his good work is being taken over. It's been hijacked by autopilot.
Hijacked by autopilot. Love that. Oh, he's a little bit thin here. He's got his own problems with the 8-ball at the top of the table. And he's thin on the next one, so this frame's got some mileage still.
Here we go. Oh, not quite. Not quite. I thought that was dropping. I mean, it is 2/3 in the pocket.
How difficult do you think it is to have a match like the one he's just played against Gareth and just go straight back out there? Because I think whilst he was 3-0 down and 4-1 down against Gareth, he'd be happy enough with the draw, but he'll probably feel, I feel like he should have made that clearance to go ahead in the dying seconds. So he probably feels like he should have won it, but then you're straight back out there and straight back to work again.
Yeah, you want a second, don't you? There is none. Nothing you can do about that. I know he took a couple of minutes away from the table just to try and reset, but that's so much easier said than done. Karl Boys gets the job done.
Shaun finds himself behind again. He did yesterday, he has today, and yet he's still hanging in. This is Shaun's 5th match of the weekend, and he's been 2 or 3-0 down in 4 of them. And he's managed to scrap and fight his way back into these matches. He's certainly getting off to very slow starts in these games, and against great players, it's hard to keep getting yourself back into them.
Third of the match gone, almost. It's 2 frames deep.
Much better hit this time from Karl boys.
Yeah, and that red just rolling's just gone a little bit awkward.
How strange is this game? So the first break he hits bad and he gets a perfect layout. This time he hits them well, and well, yeah, as you said, Stephen, last ball rolling in, and that red in and amongst the yellows, and all of a sudden reds are a problem. And no attempt, just turn the table over. He doesn't want a part of it.
Well, will Shaun Storry go? He's a really aggressive player, is Shaun. He fancies himself as a big shot maker to produce what's required when needed. But even he is saying no tar.
This could go on a little while.
Yep, it could.
Now that yellow's just inching itself further away from the cushion, it can't last too much longer. I think Karl's going to just put him straight back in there, though. But now, Shaun can't do the same thing. So Karl kind of wins that little strange exchange. Although winning that little exchange hasn't really done much for him, because he's still in the same boat. There's still no finish on. If they didn't like it first time round, he still doesn't like it now. Looks like he might be tempted here, but if he didn't like it first time, just flick off the yellow, leave the cue ball in the middle of the top cushion, and say, go on then, Shaun. Yeah. Get the yellow in amongst the reds, make it even worse.
Oh, this is now a huge frame, isn't it? This is now a huge frame. $18 minutes left. This could go on a little while. 2-0 down, Shaun Storry. You'd say he needs to win it.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, the more he needs to win it as well. So finally decides that time to go. Certainly get a colour set.
I was going to say, he might not be deciding to go. He might just be deciding to advance the battle onwards, as it were. It's difficult to play those battles when it's still open table. Oh, it's a great effort. Almost bumps that red out and then can go and win the frame, but he's going to have to pull back here. Yellows are still horrible. I think you'd rather be reds. You know, you've got one bad ball, maybe two. The one next to the 8 ball might not go to
Well, you say you'd rather be Reds, but I'm always, in this situation, I try and put how he's going to turn the table over. I always put myself in the player's situation, and I think Karl would have been fairly happy sat in his chair and said, "Go on, Shaun, you keep digging. If you get these, good luck to you." I think Karl would rather have seen that red actually go in and have Shaun keep going.
Yeah.
Because it's an odds against finish, and okay, if you are gonna get that every now and then, but the odds were in Karl's favour if Shaun had kept going. Oh, needs to hit a cushion. Needs to hit a cushion. I don't think he has. Foul's been called.
Yeah, foul given.
Slightly careless one. I can see what Karl's basically having no part of this frame. He's just going to try and slow it down and trying to get another yellow in amongst that red. But giving ball in hand means it's not as much as it can be. You know, you don't get a free shot to try and develop that area. You have to kind of either, if you want to go here, you've still got to have that angle to go into it and try and make it happen. It's still massively odds against a finish here for Shaun. It's not, even with ball in hand, he doesn't really know what to do.
Crosses himself.
So he's going to go into it. The yellow could stick here.
Oh, and he's not made it. He's not made it and opened it up well, would you believe that? I did think the pot looked tight, but I expect him to make it nevertheless.
I love his reaction before he played that shot, though. Having some fun out there.
Well, you've got to, haven't you?
It's not the worst result he's ever had, because the two yellows on the right-hand side haven't opened up.
Yeah, I think right now you'd still rather be Reds. I think you'd rather be at the table, but Karl still just wants absolutely no part of this.
Yeah, for me, he's doing the right thing. I think he's got the numbers advantage. That red's away from the rest of the work. I think keep it tight, keep it awkward.
Shaun's looking at taking his yellow off the table here. He's trying to line that up.
If he can do that and not let the cue ball come out.
Yeah, brilliant shot. Yeah. But he's not developed his red. That's the one downside. I think he's focused a little bit too much there.
I think what I was thinking is if he could have got that cue ball welded to the yellow, or just short of the yellow and not see anything else, then he's forcing Karl into having to play it, open up that whole area.
That's clever. That's a really nice shot. Does three things. Opens up 1-2 yellows and makes Shaun's red bad in one shot. Very, very good. He was odds against. Shaun's reaching here. He is clutching at straws.
Yeah, clock hurt him there as well. This might sneak in off the bottom jaw rather than the combination shot. I'm not sure it helps him because he still has that one at the bottom to deal with. But he, as you say, he is digging. He's gone combination rather than off the bottom jaw. But that's not where he wanted the cue ball. Karl gets out of this snooker and hits the cushion. He's a good favourite for the frame, barring a miracle shot from Shaun Storry. Oh, what a touch he's had there. What a result. It wouldn't have been horrendous if he goes in off, in terms of Shaun still has to find a way of making the red and developing the one at the bottom, but he may well have had a shot. He might have even, that red might even go top right if he's got cue ball in hand.
No.
For me, if I'm Karl here, I like loss of turn with the one over the pocket, hiding the white at the same time. Can do it with a couple of different balls. Well, He's telling us where he wants the cue ball, so he's trying to get the snooker with the one in the yellow in the middle of the table. And throws another yellow in a mix for good measure. Has to hit a cushion after contact, so he's going to have to hit this fairly firm. He could play it with control and try and get the yellow just to reach the cushion and try and stick the cue ball to the red, or he could hit and hope it. Yeah, he's played a really good shot. That's classy.
Yeah. Love that. Little tap of the table from Karl too.
Yeah, Shaun took, Karl did the right thing there. Didn't want to flick off the yellow he could see. Just had to leave that where it was.
Shaun's lining this up. He's trying to make this. It's not a natural. He's got to play it with loads aside. But he's going to try and make this in the middle bag, I think. This would be some shot. Oh, he wasn't a million miles away, you know. It's a great effort. Really, really tricky one.
This frame has lasted over 10 minutes, and the whole way through it's felt like it's going to be Karl Boyce with an opportunity to win it. Shaun's been the one trying to make it happen, and Karl's just been patient and waited and waited. Now he has the frame to lose.
Yeah, Karl's approach was the better one, no doubt about it. But he had the luxury of that choice, being 2-0 up. Didn't have to push the boat out, knew that. And hasn't it worked out well for him? He can now go 3-0 in front as the sound tones for the 15-second shot clock. Shaun Storry in trouble.
It's quite incredible. In 5 matches this weekend, Shaun Storry's been 3-0 down 3 times and 2-0 down once. And he's managed to get himself out of trouble on all but one occasion. A big turnaround from here, but he would have to start with a big break. We know he's going to stick with that cut break, maybe even a golden break. He's certainly had the 8-ball moving. Talking about the golden breaks, we might have Josh Kane as an interested watcher today, as he still sits atop of the table on the most golden breaks in the competition. There is a prize for the most golden breaks in the competition, so he might be in for a little bonus. He would certainly be advising Shaun to go back to his front ball break, I can tell you that.
Yeah. It's not happening anytime soon.
And if you didn't see that earlier on in the competition, it was quite incredible. 4 golden breaks out of 8 breaks. 3 in one match, and he lost the match. Just quite bonkers. Well, Shaun, he may be changing to front ball. Yeah, he is. He's been cut breaking from the other side. He could still go second ball down, but it looks like he's lined up for the front ball. So he's changed to the power break.
Decides he needs chances.
And he flushes it.
Yeah, I like that calculation. He feels like he's more likely to get chances off the front ball than he is to make a golden break off the cut break. And that first break has almost vindicated that decision because these reds are sitting. 15-second shot clock, still plenty of time to get himself into the match on that. And he's been 3-0 down before. He took 3 frames straight against Gareth in the last match.
Well, he's been 3-0 down 3 times out of 5. I mean, and he's got out of trouble all but one. 3-0 down 3 times and 2-0 down once.
That's amazing. Was it 4-1 against Gareth?
4-1 as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
so just
3-0 and 4-1, and comes back to get the draw, and arguably could have won. Well, he definitely could have won it. Whether he should have won it's another story, but I think that's a strange match that both players will feel like they should have won it.
He's taking these out nicely. Just needs to hit the gap. And he has. Well, Shaun Storry once again starts to roll away the stone. 3-1. Write him off at your peril.
Yeah, comeback has to start somewhere. Lovely break. The clearance that followed it. Shaun's not out if he loses. He's got
on the precipice though, isn't he?
Yeah, he needs a lot of things then to go his way. But he'd have to win his last match and then hope those results go his way. He can still get to 3 points in the table, which can be enough.
Boys on the break. 3-1 in front. Flushes it, makes a ball.
Come a little bit too far, take the one at the top of the table. He's not got the angle to come down off it. He's just about straight enough, yeah, can screw on and off. Well, or hold, give himself distance. Always better to have the right angle from distance than try and get close, and he certainly has the right angle, just has to make the pot.
Yeah, nice.
That's a lovely shot. That really is nice.
Just let's play this next one well. But no doubt in my mind that he will. (4-1). Brilliant visits to the table from Karl boys. He's in the hunt. He is absolutely for real.
You know, his break's warming up again, isn't it? He's made a ball off every break in the match. 2 of them break clearances. Obviously, the one in the middle there was the one where he turned down the opportunity because they didn't open up very well, and that's where they had that long, drawn-out tactical frame. But the break is definitely warming up for him. Big part of his game. Give himself a lot of chances. Trying to work it through now that if he was to win this one, he'd go to 2 points. If he wins his last match, whatever Shaun does, he knows he can't catch him, so then he's got to beat one more person. And he'd be playing Gaz last match. And best case scenario is that Gaz would be on 3 points, so if he beats it. So I think what in Karl's own mind now, he knows that if he wins this match, he goes into his last match knowing a win puts him through. He doesn't even have to worry about 6 red, which is a good place to be.
Yeah, that might, well, look, it's just saying that. I was going to say I might dust Shaun Storry off, but...
Yeah, come on, Karl, you can clear these up, can't you?
Yeah.
These are on. He's on absolutely nothing. So it's touching ball as well.
It's not now either. It's a good shot, that.
This feels familiar. Touching again. Just trying to work it through on the other side. So for Shaun, assuming he loses this match now, he'd be on 1 point from 2 matches. I think he'd need Gaz to win all his matches and then beat Ronan in his final game to give himself a chance to go through.
Yeah, winning a draw might be enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, Karl went for it, and he's opened everything up here.
4 minutes 38 and counting. 3 frames.
Well, if anyone can.
Yeah.
It's still massive odds against, but if anyone can, Shaun Storry would be in that conversation.
And it's because of a statement like that. It's the reason we were a little bit surprised with the chance he had against Gareth, is the fact that it's the sort of situation that we've seen him thrive on in the past.
A little bit of a lack of finesse on that shot, let's just say. Needs must and all that, but he's come out pretty nice.
Red on the right-hand side's gone pretty horrible, though.
I think he can play it.
Off the yellow?
I think he can play it straight down in the bottom corner. I think if he lands penultimate reds to the top left, I think he can just drop it in and play on it. If he can't, he'll open things up now. No, I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
Or is he looking off the yellow? Okay.
I think he is looking off the yellow. Had a little bit more angle on that one than he wanted, so it's to play it off the yellow is quite a bit of a cut back here. So much easier if he could get the cue ball to where his hand is now.
Shot.
Needs that yellow to go.
Yeah, he's fine.
It has.
What a visit to the table. Well, back within 2, just over 3 minutes.
Yeah, a minute and a half used up for that clearance, though.
And it's Shaun's break next.
No, it's not.
Or is it not?
No, it's Karl.
My apologies.
And he's, as I already said, he's found his break. He's made a ball off every single break in the match. Shaun knows in the back of his mind if Karl makes a ball here, it's pretty much game over. But also he'll be mentally prepared for the fact that if not, he'd be ready to jump. 3 minutes is long enough for 2 clearances. And there's always the golden break.
Always.
And it is going to be dry. Come on then, Shaun, what have you got?
Oh, hello.
Oh, Karl, you could be in for a torrid 3 minutes here.
These reds are all there.
Yeah, they are.
They're not just all there, they're sitting.
Yeah, this could be a quick one. He could leave himself 2 minutes, actually, to do one off his own break.
Which is luxurious in the grand scheme of things.
He's not left himself. Is he? No, he has. He's okay. He's got just enough angle to punch this wherever he wants. That's okay.
Yeah, he can just take the one over the middle. He's fine.
Might just pinch the pocket a little bit, or he can come back, whichever way he sees it.
This won't be a pleasant 2 minutes and 13 seconds for Cowboys.
Absolutely not. Has to get this shot right. It's got a bit of mileage on the cue ball. Oh no, he knew it as soon as he hit it. He knew it. He was just a bit betwixt and between. If he takes the one to the right centre, the top one, and he comes too low, and then can't get on the one he's just played. And yeah, it just needed to get into that a little bit more, get a little bit more bite on it.
Steady those horses.
Shaun Storry.
Shaun Storry is still in the hunt. What a visit. And he's one frame away on his break from tying things back up. A little smile, a shake of the heads. Whenever Shaun Storry is doing these Shaun Storry things, I'm reminded of the Jesse Pinkman Breaking Bad scene. He can't keep getting away with it. And yet here he is. He's at it again.
We might have to start calling this the Shaun Storry, the way he manages to turn these around. I mean, incredible. 4-1 down once again. This time even more trouble because he's got no time on the clock, and here he is. He's left himself a minute 30 odd to make a break clearance. He might even have time to win 2 frames. Get the win.
Stop that right now.
That wasn't a fun 1 minute 30 seconds for Karl Boys, and if the ball gets made here, it will be even worse. He's going to stay with the front ball, so there's no thoughts of changing it up to try and get the 8 ball moving. He just wants the same break as before and another great chance for the break clearance.
Cue ball stays up, needs a ball.
He didn't hit them very well. He knows that as well. Did not hit them very well.
And Karl Boys breathes. A huge sigh of relief. Cool, that got close. I'll take a draw if you will, Shaun Storry says.
Yeah, I bet he would. And Karl doing the right thing, just going to run the clock down. A couple more pots away. Such an unnatural feeling out there as a pool player because you know you've got to wait the full 15 seconds, but he can't almost bring himself to do it, so he's just going to pot the open ones.
Yeah, he's fine. It's going to be Karl Boys to take the win. A win he needed. After being beaten by Ronan McCarthy. Shaun Storry still has a draw. He's not out of this just yet. But he may need things to go his way now, as well as winning his last game. Some clearance from Karl Boys. Yeah, time to do it, I think.
Don't go in off, though.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah. It's a little risky there. You suddenly slap that round, the cue ball goes in and the 8 ball goes in. Oof.
All right, match ends. Brilliant one, that one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Karl Boys 4-3 winner. He stays alive.